What's up, everybody? Sorry, I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties. I think this stream is just too heavy, man. What's going on? Headbutt the like button. How's it going, everybody? That was Monstrosity, Finland, instead of your Monstrosity, Florida. How's it going, brother? Straight from Finland, huh? So, sorry for the technical difficulties. I just had to delete some stuff off the stream, and obviously I'm coming right at the edge. So, what's up, everybody? How's it going? I saw a lot of people were psyched for this. I got a lot of cool stuff to show. I have an extensive background with Finnish Death Metal. So, like, once I started writing to bands, you started seeing, like, these little flyers, and you started seeing things in fanzines, and some of the addresses, they were Finnish Death Metal bands. So I remember breaking the ice, probably with a Uniforce or something, where I had written to this band. Actually, no, I think before that was Abhorrent, but I know I wrote with Xysma, and I got this excellent demo at the time. It's called The Swarming of the Maggots. So, like, the band sends me this really sick demo, and, like, after that, I wouldn't stop bugging them, basically. And they changed their style over the years. They would send me all kinds of tapes. They would send me cool letters. I'll show a few on here. But this demo was like a big thing for me, man. It was so heavy. It was like, you know, because I liked Carcass at the time. So, like, then here all of a sudden is a band that's like Carcass, lower than Carcass. And then mixed with some Napalm Death almost, you know? And then, you know, like, as, just to, say, from last week, we had a live on here. So, like, I was the obsessive collector. And then if you guys want to check our last episode, with Alexis Morrow and, Dennis from Analog Archives, you should check it out, because this was the reason why I got so into Finnish and Swedish and all kinds of death metal stuff from Europe, because I was the obsessive collector. You know, I would go that extra mile. I would write with the band constantly. I would send tapes. I would send money. I would send free stuff. I would write a scene report of my area, and I would get one back too. I mean, people, and I want to send this entire episode out to Luxi, from Finland, because he was the catalyst of so much stuff, dude. Unbelievable, you know? So yeah, this should be a good one if it's not crashing on me. So we're going to play a little music, and then we're going to show a little stuffs. So this is, like, we're going to have 2 streams tonight. I wanted to put one where it was a little more underground, and I show my letters and talk a little bit more. And then the other one will be it could disappear, because every some of the other live streams I did on YouTube, like the Swedish one and the Norwegian one, if you play certain music, you know, you're due to like some copyright restrictions. You know, I feel like it's part of the story, and I don't want to talk over the music, and I don't even know if it would make a difference actually. So sometimes they completely block the stream, and the thing is gone. It's like, it's not viewable. It's barely viewable. It's on like Twitch maybe. So, you know, I'm just gonna warn you guys, like, you might see this once and never see it again. So I put 2 streams, that way we could try to play a cross section of a lot of stuff, but not, you know, maybe one stream will end up being lost in the shuffle. So we'll see, you know. I don't know. Let's go into the past. All right, so getting back to the Finnish death metal scene. Basically, at the time too, when you wrote with Finnish death metal bands, everyone was super hyped on Swedish death metal bands. So like Entombed had hit, and then after Nihilist and Entombed, Unleashed, all this stuff was coming out. Finnish death metal bands were like just kind of like getting like onto the thing, onto like being a little more popular. But there would be like tons of fanzines out there with information about like US bands and Swedish bands and commercial ass bands, I don't know, Metallica or something. Thrash, like Violence, so like you had to really dig to get Finnish death metal. It wasn't like, even with the addresses themselves, they were very sparing. So when you saw one, regardless of what the band's flyer looked like, regardless of what the logo looked like, you might take a chance and send a letter to that band just because you heard something from there. Like, I was constantly chasing the dragon with Finland, because between I am this is not the black metal episode of Finland, which could be its own thing basically, but between the black metal from Finland of Beherit and stuff, and then with the Abhorrence, and then the Xysma, and then eventually I got the one song demo of Demilich and Purtenance Avulsion. These bands were like, no one really knew about them, like nobody was talking about them. But I had a tape trader friend, I believe I got his address from John McEntee from Incantation, because I asked him, I said, who drew your Seraphic Decay 7-inch cover? And he said, it's my friend Luxi from Finland. He's really involved with tape trading and stuff. You would like him, he's super obsessive. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I get his address. I write to this man, Luxi, and then he sends back these letters, which I'm going to show some on the screen, but these are the actual letters too. Excuse this one had fallen apart a little bit, but this guy's handwriting and the letter itself, like his drawing skills were off the hook, dude. He would write, he's like, many thanks for the Ceremonium 7-inch, because at the time I was, getting into the record label thing. So, and he's talking to me about Sentenced, Deicide, Malevolent Creation. So back when these things were written, check out the bottom too, there's his address. Lucas Laheten, Luxi, Kaiapuu, Finland. So back when these were written, so this is a two-sided letter too, which he's talking more about Amorphous, Impaled Nazarene, Necropsy. Then he's asking me some stuff about Crucifier. He's talking to me about Pacini, Inferno, Death Blow. Like, this is how we spread our information back in the day. And then, I think now you've received the Inferia promo. So he would send me a bunch of tapes and stuff, and there's some information about Burzum and Euronymous at the bottom of that one. So yeah, it's pretty sick. I mean, I have some of the stuff scanned of Luxi's old letters, as well as some of the other bands I wrote with. So let's see if we could pull one up, and maybe you guys will see it if you're not on a phone or something. Let's see here. This one was from 94. So it's like, word up. Hail Roy again. Here is your lunatic Finnish friend, Luxi. Thank you for the stuff you sent me recently. Torture Crypt. Intense stuff. So I let him hear I Abhor, which was post Eviscerate, friends of mine from New York. We're still talking about Ceremonium here. He's talking to me about Dysentery and Inferia. And then he goes on really deep here with Impaled Nazarene, Archgoat, Necropsy, Purulent, Messiah Paratroopers, Melkorn. Melkorn. Like, at the time, that went over my head. Demilich. Let's see here. I'm not into trading videos anymore. So, in the beginning, when I first started talking to Luxi, too, what's up, Sherry Screams? When I first started talking to Luxi, I was asking him for videos. I really wanted to see videos of Finnish death metal stuff. And if you look on YouTube and you see like these old Finnish, like really third-rate quality videos that we'll probably show one or two on here, some of those were sourced from my original stuff, because I had, and then they just got tape traded down the line, basically. I had a 1990 Robert D from the Meat Shits, because he had all those horror movies. He would he transferred my PAL videotapes that were the Finnish stuff, because it was in PAL format. It wasn't in VHS. It looked like a VHS, but it was a PAL format. So he transferred a bunch of stuff from me, from like Sentence, Amorphous, Abhorrence, Disgrace, just a endless amount of stuff. And I still see that stuff out there today, you know? Hell yeah, Demigod. We'll get to them in a moment. There's a lot of, it was cool to see the bands. And that's when I first noticed the Finnish flannels. You know, I didn't notice from the band's photos originally that the bands were all wearing flannels, but this would probably be like something sourced from that original OG. So that was Disgrace from Finland. There was a video from 91. Pretty dark and dismal, and playing a pretty obscure song even in that one. So, you know, I can jump ahead in my own history. With Disgrace, I had written them very early, very, very early. And they were like, they were going to do a 7-inch for Necroharmonic Records, basically. And I made a contract with them, and then they recorded a few songs. And then by the time I had received the material for the 7-inch, I didn't really like it. So I actually had not put it out, which was, I mean, probably blasphemous for most people to think, like, okay, you had a whole 7-inch from Disgrace, but you didn't put it out, you know? But the thing is, I mean, I didn't want to sacrifice myself, you know, by putting out a release that I wasn't 100% behind, you know? So if I'll pull up the pictures when I'm, they send like a reel-to-reel and a cassette with it. And then I used to write very heavily with Jukka, if that's how you say it, or Jukka. He is now instrumental in part of Svart Records. So like, that's why you see Disgrace's stuff out on that label. Originally, the Disgrace stuff came out on a label called Modern Primitive Records. So this is an original old school Disgrace release. But I had gotten their demos before this. But sometimes you got a lot of this stuff almost around the same time. It's funny, it says made in Canada. Because, you know, like I got their Into the Labyrinths of Depression demo. And then I was writing to them. And then, like, I have some letters over here from Jukka. Back in the scene, like, this is how you had to navigate it. Like, this was how, you know how, like, you see these websites and everything now, death metal? I mean, Osmos Records, you go to their website, you could pre-order, you know, some limited-ass record and shit. So back then, though, like, this is how you got the stuff. There was almost no description. Like, you know, there'd be one piece of paper with, like, just a bunch of releases on it. Putrid Offal, Exculcation, a split LP, you know? Massacre, Deadhead. It's almost like you had to know, like, what you were buying to even, like, navigate, like, the death metal scene. So it's kind of cool to, you know, like, I mean, sometimes you would take a chance, it would go good and bad. Sometimes usually it would go good. I mean, if it was Finnish, you know, that with, I took tips from Luxi, and then he also, you know, there's a whole episode on him on Death Metal Podcast, if you guys want to check it out, where he would, like, help, like, distribute Finnish bands' tapes. So they would send him, like, 20 tapes or something, and then he would help get them around the world. And I was one of those people. How's it going, Aaron? So, yeah, Finland all the way. So I'm just trying to, I know I'm bouncing around a little bit because the Disgrace stuff kind of came later. But I remember getting this very early in the day. Right, so that was the first. That was like the first outing for me with Demilich. They had a one song demo, Regurgitation in Blood, and I remember the first time hearing it, I was like, "Whoa, those vocals, man! Damn, low, different, you know? Like they were lower. They were lower than you know, I don't know. They felt lower than as low as a Rochivore or other bands I liked a lot, Mortician." And it was cool too, like you would write to these bands and they would send you like flyers of like their shows and stuff. Disgrace, Beherit, obviously Afflicted from Sweden came to play this one, and Old Funeral. But you see Phlegethon on there, Sentenced, Belial, Mordicus. So I mean, I don't remember who I got some of these from, so excuse me and that. Here's another one now. I got other things too to show. Wait, that's the same flyer. Oh, they're two different flyers with two different graphs. That's what it is. So it's pretty sick, man. Hand-drawn flyers. The other one has a different Mordicus logo on it too. Leput 40. I had asked one of these guys what that meant, because they, you know, how much was it to get in, and they were like $5 or something, you know. Yeah, Belial, great looking flyers. Thank you, man. I got a lot of stuff. I have a lot of stuff I saved, and like, you know, this hypothetically I'm gonna, you know what? Some of the stuff I have scanned, so it's probably easier for me to show it. If we could go to just Demilich. I remember when they wrote to me, they sent me like these, like, they would send like bio sheets and like lyrics and like, and these things were all drawn out and super cool. So take a deep look. You know, this was the flyer, actually, of the demo, some release. It was for the Regurgitation of Blood, is available now. So, I mean, me seeing this flyer, you know, I had to write to Anathema to say, how's it going? I want to buy your tape. And then when I wrote to them, I probably got this, which was a biography from 1991. So it has, it's actually feels like it's telling the story from Demilich form in fall 90 with Mikko Virkkunen and Anathema. And then, you know, talking about the rehearsal place, talking about their one song demo. Then going into the Embalmed Beauty Sleep demo stuff and the slimy creatures of reproduction in your brain. The demo was recorded where Demigod, Xysma, Disgrace, Funebre, and Purtenance Avulsion recorded their material, it says. So, I mean, that's, you know, super sick band. You know, they were cool guys. All the people in Finland, like, in the letters and everything, like, everyone was, like, super cool, man. Like, it would, you know, like, and they would write to me, because I lived on a street called, what the hell was it? Chestnut Street or something. And I think it was Elm Street. I lived on a street called Elm Street. And then sometimes when the Finnish people would write me, the Finnish friends of mine, bands, they'd be like, hey, does Freddy live on your street? So, you know, that was a typical joke that I would hear from some old Finnish friends of mine, you know. Demilich, Demigod, Eternal Darkness are from Sweden, but there's Finnish members. Cryptic Kerberos, Untimo. I don't know that Negazaroth band, but they look Swedish. Here's another one. Demigod, Sentenced, Impaled Nazarene, Belial, Thromedar, a Euthanasia, Maple Cross, and Scepctical Schizo. So some of those other bands at the bottom there, like those, I would get demos from those bands. Le Putz 30, even cheaper than the other show. And look at this look at this lineup. Eternal Darkness, Demigod, Sentenced, Belial, Impaled Nazarene. There were stories behind this show. Mikko from the early band Sacred Crucifix. There's videos or stories from this show because some berserk things happened with Impaled Nazarene. So we're gonna talk about another band. There's a lot to go through here, so I mean, you know, here's a band that was on that flyer with a rare demo. Alright, so that was Scepctical Schizo. And then, you know, like, that was a rare thing. Like, if you could get a tape from them, it was pretty, you know, obscure. So, like, I think I wrote to them. I don't remember my interactions with them. There was this release came out a couple years ago, this Purtenance box set thing. But on the top of there, you have a band called Purtenance Avulsion. Now, this band here, Purtenance Avulsion, they were like, to me, they were super heavy, man. They were like, they were the equivalent to your, like, Funebraries, Crematories, you know, like Demilich. They felt like Rochevore, you know, they to me felt hard as, you know, as hard could get. So I had found out about them, I believe, through Nick Orlando from Evoken. He originally said he had the rehearsal demo or something, but then for some reason, Marco Holocaust Vengeance from Beherit taped me their demo, the Purtenance Avulsion demo. This was the first time I had gotten it. This is not the original, because this has, like, on the tape itself, This has, even though it has Purtenance Avulsion's demo cover, it has a bunch of, like, Beherit, like, rare rehearsals and stuff. Let me see if I can go solo. Hold on a sec. Oh, I'm on solo. See, I'm so used to streaming with 3 people. I don't know if you could see it, though, but there was, like, some rare-ass Beherit rehearsals. And then the Purtenance Avulsion on side 2. So, yeah, Marco from Beherit taped me this. The TDK, baby. And I mean, I might have sent him this TDK. So he hooked me up, and then he even photocopied the cover of it, which was cool. Then I wrote to the band to get the real one too, you know. Definitely one of my all-time favorites in Finnish death metal. I think, you know, I always go back to them, man. Let's check them out. Alright, so that was Purtenance Avulsion. Eventually they became Purtenance. They dropped the Avulsion. Later in our second episode, we'll play some Purtenance. And they're still active, and they still play shows, and they're still cool dudes, too. Purtenance rules. So, beyond Purtenance, you know, like, sometimes you would get a tape that didn't have a cover. So there'd be stuff that would come to you. There'd be like, you know, like something like this, you know? I believe I got this from the member of Necropsy. So Necropsy from Finland with their promo 93, and then the rehearsal, which was my favorite stuff at the time. And there's Xysma again with the advance LP of the First in the Magical at the time. So, you know, you would get these rare little jemmies of dub tapes. You know, there'd be a lot of good demos, cartilage, in godly flesh, you know. A lot of stuff over time got revamped and reissued, and over time, you know, you see this type of stuff, you know what I mean? Which is a reissue of an old, you know, like a new issue of a Demilich album or something. Or this, which is like the Vanishing Sessions, which is like an unreleased Demilich recording. This was put out like last year. I think this was the stuff they put out on Reel to Reel, maybe. So I mean, there was a lot of cool, like a lot of cool releases too. Like the Finnish stuff was always like tight, you know. So I mean, it was definitely some kind of cool stuff. So let's see what else we got in the Vault of Death. Anathema 91. So that was some obscure stuff, a little different, you know? We want to try to play stuff you might have never heard. I mean, I think that's the goal here. Beyond, you know, some stuff you're gonna know, you know? I mean, with the rise of the last, like, 10 years, I would say, especially in the last, like, 5 years, you have reissues of all kinds of Finnish death metal. That stuff was out of print, you know? Which, like, this has the Unholy Domain demo on it and the promo demo. So for almost 30 years, though, that promo demo wasn't released on CD. I remember getting it from the band back in the day on a dub tape. You know, you have Demigod tapes. Intuit Records puts out some stuff like that. Old Xysma, like, mini LPs on tape and stuff. Into the Mind of Morbidity. Really good record. Hard to get. Even like Disgrace, you know, where they would put like the demos and the Grey Misery together. But, you know, going back towards Grails and death metal, this particular one CD here, Demigod, Slumber of Sullen Eyes, on Drowned Records. And this was like a really hard, you know, good thing. Like, I had heard them in advance with writing to them. So knowing, I had heard their demos and then got to hear the album probably early in the game too. Like, maybe the advance, or maybe I just got it when it came out. I'm not sure. But they might have sent it to me too, because like I had pretty good relationships with bands that they would just send me stuff after a while, because, you know, like different bands like your Xysma or Demigod, Disgrace, Luxi, you know, like anyone you wrote over there, like Funebre, Amorphous even, you know, they would write you back and they would send cool stuff. Like, I was looking at this letter right here I had from Xysma, and it's like from Ali from Xysma. And it says, hello, Roy, this is Ali from Xysma. I know it's been a year, but here I am finally. I wanted to record new songs. These songs have just mixed and mastered last Monday, so you are the first one to hear them. Ali. And then he sent me a promo demo on here of a 91 promo demo that only came out like a year or two ago on Svart, which has that My Mind's Mine, Clouds of Consolation, Souls and Stolen, and It's My Sound. But then he taped me the mini LP, which is what I just showed you on that tape thing. And then at the bottom it says that Yeah LP, and it has the date on it too, 5/11/90. And sometimes these guys would tape other songs, like say Disgrace. They had like cover songs of like The Doors they would send you, and stuff like that. So, you know, they would send you extra stuff, and then, you know, it's like both of us were going out of each other's way to play, like, send extra stuff to each other, which was kind of super cool, man. I mean, you know, these were like, they were friends.
Scepctical Schizo.
We used to call them Xysma, though, because we didn't know what they were called. They had this old 7-inch. This is a scan of my original copy on Seraphic Decay Records. So Seraphic Decay Records was like kind of super important for Finnish death metal too, because between that Xysma 7-inch and then this is not the original. This is the box set version of the Seraphic Decay box set, where they put some of the stuff on vinyl, 12-inch vinyl, nice boxes. One side of this, it came with a shirt, but it's one side of this has the Disgrace 7-inch on there with Minch. Jim Kanye would be happy. And then Abhorrence. The whole 7-inch on one side instead of two-sided. So this was like the contents of the record, which basically was based off this right here, the Seraphic Decay CD that they put out years ago. This is the original copy, not the bootleg version. So this is the original Seraphic Decay. Whoops. The original, the original version of the compilation of Seraphic Decay. So some of the bands with the Seraphic Decay stuff, like, they were important. Like Abhorrence was super important. Everyone in my scene in New York and New Jersey, everyone listened to Abhorrence basically. And I think there was a few friends that were in the Demilich route. There were as time went on, I noticed people like in the 2000s, and even some of the dudes that were jamming in Undergang were playing in a band that was in the Demilich route. And also a band from Ohio called Descend was in that route. But there was a lot of bands that nobody took the Xysma route. But it's like yeah. But basically, the what I was gonna say is the Funebrae and the Purtenance Avulsion and Ripikulu, Thergothon, people in New Jersey, Disgrace and everything. We ate that shit up, man. This was probably our favorite of favorites, I think.
Together, the sound.
Right. So that was Abhorrence. And then that whole demo was really amazing. And then the 7-inch that they put out on Seraphic Decay was on repeat. Literally nonstop, all day and night. Definitely all my friends. I wasn't in a band, so, but I was around a lot of bands. So, like, they constantly, the guys from Ceremonium, Putrefact, Incantation, like everybody around, dude, we were all listening to Abhorrence. I remember years ago, we were first touching base with Abhorrence. My friend Bill Venner from Xysma was drawing the Incantation logo, so he was contacting with Abhorrence too. And then he was like drawing a logo even for them. Like he was like doing something. They didn't use his logo, I don't think, but he would do stuff like that. Like we would connect with these people, and I'm like, yo, who did you write to? And then like I wrote to one guy, but then he was like, well, I wrote to this guy, Chemo, and he had an old fanzine. And it was called Goat Skin. So, like, we couldn't forget the name and this flyer. Hi, I'm actually not the new guitarist from Blasphemy. Something I will move to the mountains of Goat Skin. And this is the first issue planned with Immolation, Nocturnus, Cadaver, Tiamat, Abhorror, Exit 13, Death Yell, Devoid, Lord of Putrefaction, Belching Beat, Funebre, Nox Vomica, Diabolicum, Abhorrent, Pythagoras. Like, these bands are incredible. I can also exchange or send the Vulgar Necrolatry demo in exchange. I'm so bored with these zines asking for free promo tapes. If they could send a blank tape, I can send a blank tape to you. I want to connect. So, people were really cool, man. I used to do a zine called Rabid Outburst. And then the prices. Whoops. I'll show that in a second. So, like, you would write to these people, and then, like, they would tip you off towards, like, bands. Because you would see those bands' names in the zine flyers and stuff, and you'd be like, who's Nox Vomica? Or who is, like, I don't know, I had heard Invocator through Morbid Mag or something, but, like, there was just different bands, man. You would see their names. Now they look common, but at the time, a band like Pyrothrosis or something, you would look at that name and you would be like, who the fuck is that, dude, And then it would give you almost like a goal, or it gave me a goal. I mean, obviously this whole entire show shows that I have obsessed about, like, writing to these bands and, I didn't see it as collecting when I was just writing to them, but now I realize, like, yeah, you kind of were collecting the stuff, because you don't end up with a bunch of, like, Xysma, Crematory flyers and stuff if you weren't, like, collecting them. Or the fanzine that Luxi's brother wrote, which this was super sick, with Funebre. He put Sexorcist from Holland in there, Xysma, Exit 13, Disgrace, Acheron from Australia, and Beherit. And I mean, this was a tiny zine, but it had amazing stuff in it, dude. Like, for Finnish, like, this had like old Funebre and like this Beherit interviews and Exit 13 and stuff. So super sick. And then he made a follow-up, which I'll show you later. Oh no, here it is. He made like a follow-up little tiny zine where it had like just small amounts of information because he wanted to keep his zine going, but he was like, some Sinister, Biopsy fanzine, Sinister, and Phlegathon stuff. It's funny because inside, here's some stuff about Demilich inside and some rare artwork, and Relapse. Because Relapse were definitely championing. I was hanging around with the guys from Relapse a lot too, so like, we would all kind of listen to, and also Venner and John McEntee. John McEntee especially would be listening to Amorphous. He probably showed us that Amorphous demo. So different stuff, you know, like that we were around, I don't know, like some of obviously it led me off on an obsession, but I know it led some of these other guys off on an obsession too, because, you know, myself, Billy Venner, you know, like we still buy like abhorrence fucking things, and, you know, like if a new thing comes out and we don't have the stuff, we're probably going to try to get it, you know? So, I mean, it's like these bands were like important to us, so we took the extra step to like go out of our way to like get as much stuff as, as possible, you know? I mean, it seemed like, you know, there would be these slower bands too that we started getting down with, you know, like at the same time. All right, Thergothon. They were, yeah, like they were like the earliest, probably the earliest incarnation of like a funeral doom band. After driving around corpses all day, this is a perfect way to end it. That's what I'm saying. That dude from Thergothon too, he had a thing. He had like a newsletter, and like it was called Hammer of Damnation. So they would he had like a record label where he put out like a 7-inch, and this was his news order, like mail order catalog 93. Nico Sikara. So he was a cool dude. I mean, good guy. Funeral doom master, bro. Like, I mean, he was the first time. I mean, between, you know, disembowelment obviously came before that, so they were slow. They were slow, dude. I mean, they set off all kinds of stuff. I wanted to talk about Demigod because it seemed like, you know, the dudes from Demigod were like super cool with me. You know, considering I was probably a pain in the ass to them, you know. So like they wrote back and sent like the coolest stuff. You know, like if I wrote to them and said like, could you tape me your practice? You know what I mean? They would like send me a tape back with practice editors or something. And then, you know, they would send cool letters. They were long and, it, you know, like interesting, but, you know, just to the point. You know, a couple letters from Essa. Thanks for the incantation, which was kind of a theme for me because, like, I would send cassettes and I taped you the Xysma mini LP on there. Something nice. I hope you like it. Right now, Xysma mini LP is sold out. I know that incantation has shirts. If I send you money, can you buy me one? Like, this is how we, like, you know, kind of like went with it, you know? We tried to, you know. So here's another one, maybe. Hello, Roy. Obviously, they all, you know. Here's Essa from Demigod writing. Strange to hear from you again. Been in touch with Seppa. So that's the thing. Like, we've done our record called Slumber of Sullen Eyes. It's coming out on Spanish Drown Productions. I've pleased the LP only 5 days to do it. What else here? This is like stuff that you really don't hear about too much, right? Little stamp on the bottom with his address and stuff. So yeah, I mean, this was like, you know, these guys were super cool. Like, they would send photos of themselves and stuff. And then I had shaken down, what do you call it? I had shaken down Luxi's brother because he in this biopsy zine. It says something about a side band of Demigod. They were called Disinterment. And I was like, what did that ever come out? And I asked the guy, and then he had sent one photo, which I talked about on the last live cast, but I wanted to show it here. So Seppo, the drummer from Demigod, he sent the photo, and I thought it said Disinterment on the back, but maybe the letter said it. Because I wrote to Essa from Demigod, and I wrote to Seppo. And then they sent cool stuff. I mean, they would send, like, action shots of, like, you know what I mean? Like, them playing shows and shit. Like, this was, like, some next-level letter to get, you know? When you get a letter, you know, here's just a shot of them, but when you get a letter of these three cool dudes and their demo, the Unholy Domain, is like amazing to you. You know what I mean? Like, you are kind of like, holy shit, dude. Like, you know, these guys are super fucking cool, and, you know, like, they're writing cool letters. You know what I mean? I remember someone sent me this. This is like a cutout from the Unreleased Death Vomit 3 Jeff McClelland put out. Then there was like flyers like these, like the Day of Darkness, Demigod played that. And there's like a recording of that. I'd like to play that on here. I was like actually looking to see if I had a rip of it. But here's the photo I wanted to show. So this was Disinterment right here. just Seppo. And then on this is the best part though. Like, this is the best part of it. Like, this is like, yeah, it's me. I'm alone in the dark. So like when I saw these photos, I mean, I thought it was so funny, you know? And then it's just like, you know, like, you know, they were treating their fans well, you know, at least me. You know, like, I would always spread their name too, like 1,000%. I mean, I don't think they knew, but I finally got to meet Essa, and then the drummer who played in Archgoat was playing guitar for them in Maryland Death Fest. So I gave him a bunch of this crazy banana bread, and then we went on adventures. Here's an old thing I didn't show from that Disgrace. I didn't find the reel-to-reel thing, but this was like the advertisement for the Disgrace 7-inch back in the day that I didn't put out. Because at the time, it says out now, Ceremonium 7-inch. So the next release after Ceremonium 7-inch was to be a Disgrace Autumn Sabbath 7-inch. But it has as upcoming Gut 7-inch. That happened. See how it said please include some return postage for sure reply. Stamp US IRC or dollar world. $4 for a 7-inch, $6 to Mexico. I don't know why it doesn't say Europe, but yeah, I mean, like, this is how yeah, banana, we had some crazy, shout out to Nate and his crazy banana bread that he like got us all fucked up with. And what do you call it, and then I didn't see the guy who played with Demigod for like a whole day, and then he was like, hey man, I've been looking for you, did you get that weed for me? And I was like, oh no, I got this instead, you know. And he looked at it like, what the fuck is this, you know? And I'm like, it's banana bread. It's made out of weed. It's really good. And then he's like, just what? I'm like, just eat it all. And then he did. And then I seen him hours later. He's like, oh, you know? So, I mean, obviously it was like some magic shit. We were all on it. Like, we were all on it super hard. This guy brought like major amounts. So, like, you know, I shared a little. I saw Demigod live, which was exciting for me because I never seen him live. I always was a sweater of their music. You know, I mean, this would be something probably from like a tape that they taped me. So this is like a rip from my collection. So that was a rare rehearsal demo that Demigod like taped me. And then you know, back then we weren't so concerned about covers or any kind of shit. So like, you know, these might have been all tapes that were just taped by bands with my own writing on them when they came back. Because like they would write out the track lists inside the letters. So here's like an Impaled Nazarene with Anus Cunt, their side band. Vomitrution, Belial down there. There was a bunch of rare Belial demo things. There's a band on here. There's a band on here called Angel Goat, and also Lord Abba, which is kind of rare stuff. Sometimes because I was putting out, you know, I was involved with. Obviously, I was super involved with the Finnish stuff. So you know, I might ask questions, or maybe I was even the one showing them. I don't really remember, because so I would like or Rob from Sonic Fallout Zine had like showed me his roommates like old artwork stuff. Wait, it's this one. Let me see this. Hold on a sec. I'll hold these up one at a time. Some like old, this is Pamela who drew the Ceremonium 7-inch cover. And this at the time wasn't even like a thing, really. This Archgoat became like a rare Archgoat release cover. Next, you know what? Just to let people know, after this stream ends at 10:30, I'm going to do a second stream where you can make requests. And then I'll try to play as many as I can. Yeah, there's a killer artwork, right? So I wanted to split the streams up just to see if I could jukes the copyright stuff. And we'll see, you know? So I'll play some other additional bizarre stuff on here, though. I want to, you know, do a cross-section of some newer and older stuff, too, which is difficult. There's this old-ass video of this band, and I wrote with them. They sent me their advanced 7-inch, kind of with like a half cover, which was Cult. Good band. All right, super sick old shit. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of levels to that one, but if you listen to the music alone, forget about the way they're dressed. That's the most negative thought. But anyway, super sick band, old cool dudes. They sent me their early 7-inch. I thought they were super dude. There was this band that was also pretty cool to me. Wrote dope letters, sent like a nice, flyer. Oh, I wanted to show one thing too before we got off the Demigod. When they wrote me too back, they sent me like this old ass lyric sheet with the demo lyrics. So this is an OG, they sent me back in the day. Here's like an old flyer from the band that just played, which there's not too much. It's a biography, I'm sorry. It's written really small. So, good band. I mean, they were a good band. They were tight. They were tight live. That video's sick. Agonized, yeah, they're sick. And then the bands, like I said, sometimes there was also a girl team who did a fanzine called Diarrhea Autopsia or something. And one girl was named like Heidi or something like that. And they did like a really sick fucking Finnish fanzine. I sold it like years ago, but I have a letter somewhere, but I don't think I'll be able to show it. But yeah, they were super cool. I mean, they were like, their zine was like, their content of it was super cool. Again, I wanted to mention, after this stream at 10:30, I set up a more commercial stream where we could play other stuff that probably won't get us booted off YouTube. Not that this video won't get booted off YouTube, because it probably will. But if in case one of them stays up, at least I've accomplished my missions. So anyway, going back towards, old flyers and shows and stuff. These old, the guy who wrote the Finnish Death Metal Encyclopedia thing recently, he was on Death Metal Podcast. And he spoke about this show, actually, because he set it up. So, I just happened to show the flyer on here because this was in my collection. And he's like, I set that show up. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then, so you should check out his book. They definitely go into, like, a zone where they talk about, like, for me, the interesting part was, like, the early Finnish stuff. Because, like, I didn't really know the history of, like, stone and that type of stuff. I kind of got into it more in, like 89, 90. When stuff like this was kind of just starting to shoot out there. Funebre. And then, the 89, 90, 91. There was, like, all these demos that were, like, coming out of there that were... One was heavier than the next, I mean, but even something like this from 89 and then getting it maybe 89, 90. Like, this demo was super hard. And the demo, and this too. These were, like, for me, probably the most important musical recordings there was. yeah, the Finland Death Metal scene was very intense, you know? The old Funebre demo, that 90 demo, that was like so heavy, man. Like all three songs were like just one banger, banger, banger after another. They were kind of mysterious too. I mean, if you wrote a letter to them, it wasn't huge. I wrote with one or two members. I definitely wrote with Ertzi. And then later in life, Necroharmonic put a CD out, release out with Interment from Finland. And then the guitarist from Interment Finland was the guitarist on the early first Funebre demo. So he's a cool dude. You know, it's cool to, like I said, have a connection with more than one member of the band, you know? Like, if there was two names on the flyer, then there was two people to write to sometimes. And then if you were into the band enough, they might might both write you back. They usually always did. It's weird because I was thinking about this, like, just as this was going on. Just like a memory came to my head where people would write to my friend Ronnie Dio, rest in peace to him, from Incantation. He was the bass player. And like, cause his address was on the flyer alongside John McEntee's address. So there would be people from bands that would write to Ronnie, and they would send him like the Afflicted Convulsion demos. And, you know, like, I'm not sure if he's the guy that got the Thergothon or it was Nick Orlando. And like, then, you know, we would get together and have like these little tape trading parties where we would like bring blank cassettes and like tape each stuff off each other. And that's how we spread stuff amongst ourselves. And then maybe I would tape that stuff for other people that lived in my hometown. Or I would tape it for someone that lived in another state. Or I would tape it back for someone in Finland even. That's how deep and weird the scene was. And, you know, like, or you would send it to Spain, or it was just all over the place, you know, like somebody, you would send like eventually it took like a little time to make a tape trading list, you know, because like when you first start doing it, like your list consists of like Iron Maiden records, like you're kind of like shit out of luck. But if, you know, if you push a little, well, I pushed, you know, with blank cassettes and dollars, that's it. And then if for some reason, you know, it became an exciting habit to me. So this has been Death Metal Podcast. I got another half hour to go. I just want to throw the thing here, the 2-hour jam. You know, there is going to be another stream of this too, where I'm going to probably play like the more commercial Finnish Death Metal. This is the bonus edition. I don't, you know, like, it's confusing I would even have to do this, but whatever. I mean, I'm playing, you know, I could play in copywritten stuff or whatever it is. So like the YouTube wants to be a certain way, and even this episode may not be there, you know. But I don't, you know, like, I don't care, because if you're here to watch it now, then maybe, you know, you wrote down something on your notebook or whatever. I know Nevermore Rules and a couple other people have been in my show or been in the chat. Phil, No Balone, like, these guys were like, yo, I heard 6 new bands now. And even when I did a horror shows, they were like, damn, man, there's like 4 or 5 horror movie things that you showed on here. I've never heard of those at all, dude. So I mean, I have kind of pretty obscure, far out tastes. I always have been like this way, and I want to share those things with everybody on here. So I found this other poster folded up, which is pretty dope. It says it's not finished yet, but it looks amazing, right? This was sent to me by Pamela, who did the she did Ceremonium 7-inch cover, Nightfall in Heaven. So this is something cool too. Alexis will like this one. It's a black and white paper that members of Lubricant sent me. And at the bottom it has their names written on it or something in pen. Super rare. So yeah, Lubricant. I know people like rare stuff. There's a lot of rare Finnish CDs too. Please show us your cassette, Cranial Torment. Next up, we're going to play Necro Abyssius, which I don't really hear too many people talking about this. All right. So that was all right. That was Necroabysius. They were on M.M.I Records. I don't know if I had that promo tape of their stuff. I had it out here. But there was like a, here it is. Sorry. There was an old record label. It was M.M.I Records. They put out they put out a promo tape, and it had that Necroabysius stuff on it. It was super rare, like a split 7-inch. This actually has intense, agonizing Necroabysius and Soul Grind from Finland, as well as Avulsion and Gut. These were 7 inches, or some 7-inch. I don't know if all 4 of these came out. But pretty rare tape. Pretty gory, you know. This was always a sick band. Like I said, wrote cool letters, wrote cool dudes. They got back together and recorded more stuff. Later, when we stream live again, second episode of this, I'll play some of their newer stuff too. Of anyone who hasn't heard it, you know. So their demo, a Musta Seremonia, was in Finnish, and then so were their song titles. And there wasn't many, you know, I'm sure there wasn't many people that wrote to this band. Here's that letter with lubricant. Hey, Peta, thanks for your letter. That Rachivor EP, it's okay, but I don't enjoy it too much. Anyway, thanks for the lubricant. Here's the lubricant demo. We sold 650 copies. We think it's really great. Maybe we'll do extra pressing after our mini LP. Right after you said Symphonies of Sickness was Sick Carcass, the new one, I disagree. And you said Reek it's a good album. It's not even music in my taste. It's too messy. Right to Morbid Records. something about the mini CD with 2 bonus tracks, probably new ones. And then this is from Panda from Lubricant. So it was an old, you know, like there was like information spread inside these letters, you know. And then it would, you know, it was like, you know, you were talking and having a conversation with somebody. So it was a little deeper than just like, you know, the way you would buy like a record nowadays. Even if you got one off Discogs, like, does someone send you a fucking letter on there that says like, "Hey, how's it going?" You know, like, I listen to Carcass, and what do you like to do? You know what I mean? So I mean, all I was writing to was the band to say like, you know, like, I want to obtain your demo, but then you know, I might have written some extra stuff in there and been like, you know, I listen to these bands sometimes, or maybe I wrote other stuff. Who knows? I wrote all kinds of crazy stuff. I would write crazy letters. Ripikulu Rules, I have their demo on vinyl. Sick band. Yeah, they're sick as hell. It's nice to see them out there doing things, playing shows, being a live band. I mean, that's kind of ultra. What about in the old school? Some old shit. Keep the brutality sign up there the whole time. Good stuff. It was, I guess, their other demo. There was definitely, you know, like the band was super obscure. And that's what it'd be the best wording I could say. They didn't have much stuff out. They didn't promote themselves. There was no flyers. I don't remember even how I got their demo. I think I got it from Luxi. I didn't actually get it from the band. They were definitely super duper obscure. So probably, you know, the Musta Seremonia demo came out on LP vinyl in Svart Records. Hopefully someday maybe Finland will have better US distribution of their bands, because it's some of the releases, like your Purtenance album and your Altar Cartilage Split, you know, even Demigod, in my opinion, you know, even Archgoat, in my opinion, you know, they could all use like better US distribution and more people could know about them. I know they have some, you know, but maybe not Archgoat, but you know, like some of those more obscure and good Finnish death metal bands that were like tight, like Disgrace, you know, like they need a better US presence, like, but it's 30 years since it made Grey Misery or more. But I mean, the albums are tight, like you can listen to them even now. Before we're going to switch streams and play our other Finnish death metal stream, which I'll try to take some requests during it or something. I wanted to send a personal shout out to whoever I scrolled back towards on the chat thing, because there's a lot of people in here that show up and watch this my impromptu death metal show that I have no idea what I'm doing. You know, I just go on here and talk about just whatever is experience to me, you know what I mean? Like this is something I did and that's it. Like I don't, you know, it's unscripted and I don't care. Like it's stupid to me. But I wanted to it's not stupid to me that people watch it. So I wanted to say what's up and thank you to Leslia, Erin, Luigi, Eric Strickland, Justin Wild, Stefan, Chaos Goat, Mystic Doom Bitch, JOABA and Necron, Crawling and Vomits, We Are Spirits in the Asshole World, You Maniac, Depeche Commode, Rob Selena, Riot Upstarts, Alexis, Mad Ghost Cat, Zulima, Sherry Screams, Bloodstone. I appreciate all of you people because you help sometimes make the show happen. I don't know if you've heard that on the other streams with Francisco or Necron, but sometimes, like, you know, the show can go its own direction. Obviously, this show was focused towards Finnish death metal, so I try to stay on track with what I was saying and not start to play the new, you know, spectral voice or anything. Even though, you know, I would listen to that when this finishes. You know, I wanted to bring out some of the relics of my collection and just show and talk about and play the bands too while I'm at it, you know, and that way, you know, maybe there's a better connection between the two. You know, hopefully, you know, the YouTube freak gods let us keep our stream live so other people and collectors and stuff and people could watch it or whatever. That would be cool, you know. No, you people kick ass, man. Dinkins, you too. Appreciate it, you know. I appreciate all yous. Sorry, Cam Maggot Pathologist, you too, man. You people rule because, like, you're the ones that, like, sometimes you'll mention the band pretty much in here, you know. I mean, this is like, it's not just me here. Like, yous are in the chat, so, like, it's like I try to it's not that I'm building the show off the chat, but like I pay attention, and then if someone mentions the band name or something, like it will stick in my head sometimes, and if I don't know it, sometimes I'll go check it out on my off time. Yeah, what's up, JAR Tolkien? You too, man. You always support, dude. Appreciate it too, man. we're gonna show another stream after this. I'm doing a double header here for some stupid reason. I wanted to separate some of the talking and the show, you know, the picture fucking party to one thing. And if it gets banned, you got to see it. If it doesn't, you got to message me for the StreamYard link. Because you know what? As far as me re-editing, like the Swedish episode and the Norwegian episode, I started to do that. And I'm like, by the time I re-edit this, I can do a whole additional episode that's the same episode. And just look at whatever gave me the copyright strickens from the YouTube list. And they're not always even on there. It's just, you know, usually you know. Usually it'll definitely let you know who the majors are. This is, you know, there'll be a second stream with some newer bands too. I wanted to do like an old school. This is the old school, man. This is like the roots. I wanted to do a back to the roots thing. Sacred Crucifix. There's another interview on here with Luxi and no, it's with it's what they do that sets up the Finland Fest. One of the two Finland Fests, not the Helsinki one, the other one. There's an interview with him, or maybe he's in the Luxi one. I don't know. You should watch all of them. There's a lot to be learned in these, as well as the two cadaveric incubator ones. The part 2 one, they started to talk deeper about Tico Studios and some other stuff that, you know, like stuff I didn't really know about as far as like, you know, recordings and stuff. There's other, you know, a couple more bands. I'll play some more stuff in the other show, but there was cool photos I had on file here too. Some old Abhorrence picture of the lineup of the band. Look at that one member in the back, Jukka. That's not the same guy from Disgrace. This is a flyer, another version of that same flyer, but just with a like a lengthwise with a smaller version of it. There was a band I put out years ago, a CD demo thing, Interment from Finland. They're super cool dudes, and the release is super sick. You know, maybe it'll see the light again soon. There was other this was an amazing looking lineup because it's Xysma, Funebre, Anathema, Purtenance Avulsion, Demilich, Agonized, and I see Unburied, which I don't know too much about them. There were you know, these are the guys from Interment, and like I said, one guy played in Funebre on the first demo, and then they did a fanzine too, so they had their own fanzine. So these guys, they knew their shit. Look at the bands in here: Messiah Death, Autopsy, Immolation, Nihilist. These guys knew their fucking shit. You know what I mean? They knew these were sick fucking shows, dude. Thergothon and Cartilage, Sentenced, Demigod. I mean, these are totally brutal artifacts for me. This was an old letter that I had gotten from Purtenance Avulsion. It looks like, you know, saying thanks for the 7-inch, and we're gonna do a demo. You get it ready. I don't know what it says there. We don't have a rehearsal or live tape, so you could see where definitely I was going with. We played some gigs with Disgrace, Beherit, Funebre, Xysma, Cadaveric Mutilator, Convulse, Sentenced, Menticide, and Funeration. And then it just has one guy's name crossed out at the bottom, and just one. That was probably the guy that I wrote to. So it's cool to see. Yeah, that's sick. I love that. I like the old. I like the old school, obviously. So we're gonna play some more old school stuff on the other stream too. It's just doing like a multi length stream on this. I notice is like I tried to cut it up on one other one, and it seemed like it worked out better. But we'll see. I don't know. It's like I have to test the waters on here. I didn't play any Impaled Nazarene because they're black metal. I don't know if I played any Xysma. I was flexing my Xysma demo. I didn't show you guys this one either. This is an original that I got from the band, Amorphous Dismant of Soul. We'll probably play this. We're gonna do a second stream, so I was trying to send the info with my phone, but the song ended too fast. But shout out to A Sacred Crucifix. Let's see if I could squeeze in one more song, and then the stream's gonna roll over into like a second show where I play more commercialized, like not commercial, but you know what I mean, stuff that has more like gas on it when it comes to like, you know, as far as like YouTube gas. So whoever's watching this, hop on my other live. There's a different one set up. It's called the bonus edition. So this is this version of the Finnish Death Metal edition signing out for another edition. Maybe we'll go another year or two down the line. I kept it pretty old school on this one purposely because I wanted to focus on more of what I was doing. So tune into our other stream, which is just going to precede this one. All right? All right.